Okay, so in the previous video, we already created like our basic, very basic component. And then that component, we started using JSX. So what if you want to start using this in a more formal way? So let's try to find if I can get exactly the documentation for that. Again, we were in the React documentation and installation. And then we are trying to do it with this one. So as you can see, we want to use the JSX syntax as we are doing it there. We already have these ones installed, and then element by ID, documentation, follow these guides. I wonder if we should try this one. Yes, so but that's more for the general one. And then where is my try React thingy? This one probably. And then I want to build an app from scratch, so let's add to an existing project. And then here, so you want to transfer your code with Babel. Okay, so when you want to do that, then the very first thing I guess we should do is that in this case, let us go and say that we want to install React and React DOM into this project. And then and then for the Babel one, like you can see, this is the one that we were using. But then let's try like also installing Babel with its presets and everything. So when I try doing this one, this is going to ask me to also create a Babel config file, which I'm just going to do now, although that is not extremely necessary, but just so it doesn't crash on me. So let me do that one. And then this one, it's like the general one that we are going to need, but benefits, well, React preset. So you need to transform your JavaScript code using Babel. That one takes us in there. And then this is the preset that we want to use. So we also want to use this one. So this is configuration directly from from Babel, but especially configured for React. Okay, and then let me install these ones as well in here. And I think I skipped one step, and it's that I want to be building something like this. So here in my package JSON, I can go and say I am going to create another script which is going to be built. And then let's go and say that I'm going to put this in. So basically this is going to be building from the source directory to that one. And then if I want to use the preset for React, and again, this is just for pedagogical purposes, you usually will just use something that sets all of this up for you, so you actually don't have to do any of these by hand. And then if I am correct, then I will guess the final step that I will need is that since I say that I'm going to be compiling from the source file, then I'm going to move my component. So I'm going to move all of these, and then like I can just go and say this is going to be looking for, and I'm going to look into the dist, and I'm going to say creator, and I hope I'm not misspelling that. If not, then forgive me. Then, and in there I'm going to create a new file that I'm going to call greeter.jsx. Let me try with JSX and see how it goes. Let me clear up a little bit and then snooze more Copilot. It's very eager to help, but could not be very useful at this moment. So if I go on, I try running this, then this should fail, especially because I don't have the server even running. So if I do that, then it will do that, and then So if I try that, it's actually telling me cannot even find the greeter because it doesn't even have the dist folder. I have this code that it's in JSX, right? And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run npm run dev. And of course, this, oh, it's called build, sorry. So let's call build, npm run build, and this is going to recompile. And if you see, this one is recreating this one, and it's creating the React component, and it's doing it completely on its own. And as you can see, it's creating that code for us. So it actually created another file that it's compiled in there. And the cool thing of this is that if, for instance, I go and I say, I want to put a watch in here, then I don't have to be recompiling all the time. So every time I just make changes in here, I could just create another li and then say another, and then just save that, then it actually recompiles in here. So actually when you're doing the React development, this is what's happening underneath, is that you have a transpiler that is going to be converting everything that you built into something that is JavaScript standard, just following those rules. And actually with the latest versions of React, there is even a React compiler that actually will convert our crappy React code into something that is more efficient. I'm not sure if we are going to have time in the class to cover that, but it's definitely something you should take a look at, okay? So as you can see, this is a very basic way of doing this, and then in the next videos, what we are going to do is to see how to get started actually in a real application, because we are not going to be repeating all of these steps, but I hope that it's clear.